I've made a lot of balls in Build-A-Boat for treasure. This is one of them that's kind of like a bowling ball until you get into about stage 1.5 or so, and then you have to drive the thing the rest of the way. And then there's the Sphero ball. It is like a kid's toy. It's like a little robotics toy. It has an internal counterweight that makes it go. And since there's basically no height limit except for when you can't go through the stages because you bump to the top, you can make them bigger. Then there's a giant wheel that uses the rotation of the pilot seat to propel it forward. And if you take one about that size and you fill it with like 2000 TNT or something, and then you flip that little switch right there, it makes an awfully big boom and makes quite a mess. And of course it kills you, which, you know, sometimes is the fun part. Yeah, there's the mess. I got a new one to show you today, and let's get started on that one. Okay, I know this doesn't look like much right now, but what if it was a wheel? And what if you had 4 of those, and they were all on a vehicle, and they used monster truck tires to rotate the large gold ball web mesh thingies? They're like spider wheels or something. And protection blocks in front, and counterweight underneath, and lag to boot. Lucky, I have a pilot seat too. How about that? Of course I made it to the treasure. I just wanted to show you what was inside this thing. So that's what it really looks like. So what we've got here is a downward firing thruster. In fact, I think there's actually 2 of them right inside of each other right there. And those are monster truck tires inside there. They are connected to these 2 sticks that run up like this to this bar that connects it to the center of the chassis. So essentially it's just like I've extended the monster truck tires down inside the ball. And these 2 pieces right through here, these are the ones that actually connect the monster truck tire to the outside of the ball. So you can see that they're right there kind of sticking out a little bit more. And those are invisible normally, so you don't even see them. And all that stuff inside there is collision off. And I'll show you how that works out in another video that I'll do probably next. I've already recorded for it, I've just got a ton of editing to do. This thing here has quite a bit of counterweight underneath it. That is 4,125 counterweight. And of course it's got my standard gigantic platforms of plastic out in front of it, spaced 6 studs apart. This is the anti-tip mechanism up here, block on a stick. It is collision on. This stick is collision off, so you can hop in your seat and get around here easier without bumping into it. That's it. Let me show you how it drives when I drop it. I'm sure you can probably imagine what that looks like, but you've just seen it. So it's a little bouncy, but there I go. And if I do the downward firing thruster there, it gives me a lot more traction. I can actually change direction and have a little bit of control then. So that's kind of cool. Anyway, it is a little laggy, and it takes a long time to load. I haven't timed it, but for a vehicle, it's an uncomfortably long loading time. So I decided, hey, why do I need 4 wheels? I'll just make 2. So I chopped like this one and merged them over and got rid of the other 2 and made this. And I just made it into a motorcycle. So I kind of redid the fenders here and made them have a little bit of a curve to them. And it's the counterweight has been doubled in size, and now it's like an 8,000 titanium counterweight. And it kind of, you know, needs that to be comfortable driving. And it isn't too bad. It is pretty comfortable driving. It has a downward firing thruster on it as well, and that sometimes comes in handy. You can see it's got a decent amount of wobble on it. That's kind of on purpose. Because I kind of wanted it to drive, you know, wobbly. I wanted it to drive like you're on 2 wheels, and you have to work to balance it. Very much like a motorcycle or bicycle, you know, there's sometimes an element of skill involved. So, I mean, once you get them going, they pretty much stay upright, but this one, not so much. But it is robust. It is all made out of gold, and of course it's got the monster truck tires inside, so they, you know, they last pretty good. And it does also have the pilot seat on it, so I can give it a little forced, you know, spin if I want to. That's oftentimes how I look when I'm out of control. I don't know if anybody else has a problem, but I lose control of my pilot seats once in a while when I'm driving. And it hasn't happened so far on this vehicle, but most of the time it's on the ones that have wheels on wheels. A lot of times those will have some control issues that are a little flaky. Anyway, so that was 2 wheels. And, you know, sometimes 2 wheels are just too many. You don't really need 2 wheels. 1 seems like it's good enough. So this one takes about 24 seconds to load. And yes, it is just a single big wheel. It's got these 2. I use the candy cane wheels inside here, and that propels the thing forward. They're both the back wheel versions of that one, the green ones. And let's see. Oh, special thing about this, check it out. There's no protection blocks. I'm not sure I'm going to add protection blocks. It does use the counterweight underneath here to keep the chair in one position. And let me check how much counterweight I've got. 5,200. So, you know, a reasonably heavy counterweight. So let's drop this thing and I'll show you how it goes. It is kind of neat because I have an option here. I could do another video to show you guys how to make this. I can even give you exact measurements, so you can just make this exact thing if you want to. But these gold bars right here, they don't come out to the end. This is not a very clean look. Normally I would like this to be a lot cleaner, but this serves a very important purpose. These little edges on here catch on things. They catch on the rocks and they bump along, and it allows you to jump forwards quite a bit sometimes. It is gold, so it's not the highest traction thing in the world. In fact, it's, you know, pretty darn slippery most of the time. But those little edges actually allow you to push forward. The other vehicles had those on them as well, but because they had multiple wheels, sometimes one of them would catch forwards and one of them would catch backwards, and that's part of where the funny steering came from. But it was part of what I was trying to do, was create that sort of a flip grip kind of thing, where you just fling off of objects and get a little boost. And every once in a while it happens in this stage, you just jump right over top of that wall right there and end up at the treasure. It's pretty neat in a way, and it's actually, for what it is, for having no protection blocks, it did pretty good. And I did an earlier version of that, and I did not have the little cross members in there. And that made a big difference, because it stops things from kind of getting wedged in there, and yet it provides a little extra support and a little extra something to take some damage, some hits, and that helps. So it spreads the damage a little bit. Anyway, I thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please let me know if you would like to see a kind of a tutorial of that ball vehicle, and I'll show you the exact measurements and everything. In fact, I'll probably just measure mine and repeat the build. That was so much fun. I just have to do it again. Thank you guys for watching this video. Please like the video and subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.